Now, as bad as the Islamic extremist problem is here in the United States, it is far, far worse in England. Their Muslim population hovers at approximately 2 million people, which is not a big deal, if it wasn't for a disturbingly high percentage that consider themselves Brits second and Muslims first. And then on top of it, especially disturbing when the Archbishop of Canterbury told the BBC last week that the adoption of parts of extremist Sharia law was, quote, unavoidable in Great Britain. Sharia law sanctions stonings and honor killings. It virtually strips all rights from women and places fundamentalist religious belief above the state's rule of law. It's a parallel law. Britain, you better hope that Sharia is avoidable, or you and the rest of the free world are in a whole lot of trouble. Melanie Phillips knows this issue very, very well. She is the author of Londinistan. Melanie, this is a thing that you've been ringing the warning bell about for a very long time. Was he actually encouraging a parallel law?
Well, he says he was not encouraging a parallel law. But the fact is, what he has said is that he wants to have supplementary jurisdictions of Islamic law, in which Muslims living in Britain could choose whether to be under Sharia, Islamic Sharia law, or English law. Yes, but the trouble is he's denying what he has said. There's been the most amazing outburst of anger. I've never seen anger like it. And that's because the British people know very well that their country is already being Islamized by stealth.
Okay, first of all,
no one's allowed to talk about it.
You've already had a Somali gang that was involved in a murder that kind of went around the law and used their own Sharia law as well. This is the kind of slippery slope that you saw in the Sudan. People in the Sudan said, oh, well, it'll just be the veils. It won't be the beheadings. And before you know it, it's the beheadings.
Well, this is the problem with the Archbishop. He thinks that it's possible to have a nice kind of Sharia, a liberal Western kind of Sharia, and not have, amputations and stonings and all that sort of stuff. And I'm afraid he's very naive. He doesn't actually understand what Sharia is. But it's not simply the Sharia courts that you just mentioned, which operate outside the criminal law in administering justice. We also now have Sharia-compliant finance, Sharia-compliant mortgages. Our Prime Minister has said he wants Britain to be the centre of Islamic financing. Our state welfare system is recognising polygamy. It is giving welfare benefits to the multiple wives of Muslim men. Our institutions are delivering, our education institutions are delivering halal food, making special arrangements for Muslims. Now, of course, one should be considerate to minorities, and one should allow them the space to practice their religion, form communities of faith. But what one must not do is allow our faith to take over the majority religion and culture. And I'm afraid that's what the Archbishop of Canterbury does seem to be suggesting, even though he doesn't appear to know that is what he's suggesting. Oh,
he'd be big, big trouble. Melanie, thank you very much, and thanks for ringing the warning bell. Let me just ask you this. I mean, England, if the Mormons actually practice polygamy, would you be giving them benefits? I don't think so.